In this video, we're going to look at the pathways of information into the amygdala when a traumatic event is unfolding. This slide is simply to remind you that there are other parts of the brain that make up the limbic system beyond the amygdala. We've given a lot of attention to the amygdala during the training, and there's going to be different routes into the amygdala depending on the information involved. So we're going to have a closer look at that now. So information that comes in the form of vision, sounds, touch, taste, they all come in first of all to a part of the brain called the thalamus. And the thalamus is like a sorting office. It's sorted according to where does it need to go next. And if those sights, sounds, touch, taste are indicating that there's a threat, then it sends the information on to the amygdala. The sense of smell has a more direct route to the amygdala. So any smell that is perceived as threatening doesn't need to go to the thalamus first. It has a direct route in, and it's believed that that is because it's our most ancient early warning system of danger. You know, if you think about prehistoric times, maybe a predator is around, we have an opportunity to smell the predator if the wind's in the right direction from great distance compared to seeing, hearing, touching, tasting. You know, so smell is our best early warning system, and it just has this really direct route into the amygdala. Now, if there are sights, sounds, touch, taste, smells that aren't immediately recognized as threatening, then that information goes onto the cortex to be further evaluated. And if at that point it is considered threatening, again, it's sent on to the amygdala. Okay, we're going to just have a look at a scenario here of a bank being robbed by an individual, and you can see there straight away we've got the threat stimulus. It's the fear-producing content. Now, in this case, it's a learned threat stimulus because we have to learn to know that a gun is dangerous. So some threats you'll remember are unconditioned threat stimulus, so something like heights or enclosed spaces, creepy crawlies, predators. They would be innate or unconditioned threat stimuli. Here we've got a learned threat stimulus, a gun. This bank is being held up. It's a threatening situation, and the gun is the threatening content. Here we've got some content that is related, very closely related to the fear-producing stimulus, and we call that complex content. So some of the clothing that the person holding the gun is wearing, it could equally be the sound of their voice, it could be the smell of their aftershave, or something like that. But it's really directly related to the threat stimulus. The person is actually holding the gun, so very closely related. These get encoded too. Then there's the wider surroundings. In this case, the bank itself, the furniture, the colours of the walls, the flooring, maybe the music that's playing. Those wider surroundings we call context. So all of these get encoded in a traumatic moment, the threat stimulus. Some other content we call complex content that's associated with the threat stimulus, so in this case the clothing, and also the wider context, the wider surroundings. In this case, the furniture and appearance of the environment of the bank. And they all enter the amygdala differently. In the next video, we'll look at that journey into the amygdala, and we'll have a more microscopic look at the amygdala and look at some of the subnuclei within the amygdala. The amygdala is made up of different parts. So we'll have a closer look at that in the next video. Hope that's useful.